for the first time ever, let's go down a little path of storytelling here. And let's explore what this could look like, right? Today we're tackling, in our what if scenario, the moment that truly reshaped the NFL for 2 decades, Scotty. A single hit that in our reality changed everything. Like, this impacted so much within the biggest sport in America. We're talking about the infamous Drew Bledsoe injury in 2001. That moment when New York Jets linebacker Mo Lewis delivered a hit that sent Drew Bledsoe to the hospital with internal bleeding, and in our timeline, ushered in a Tom Brady era in New England. But what if that never happened? What if Drew Bledsoe had stayed healthy in 2001? That's our what if for today. Now, to set the stage, let's rewind back to September 2001. Drew Bledsoe was a Patriots franchise quarterback, just signed, Scotty, a massive 10-year, $103 million contract, the largest in NFL history at the time. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler. He led the Patriots to a Super Bowl 5 years prior. He was seen as the long-term answer in New England. He was the franchise. He was the guy. Then, in week 2, against the Jets, Bledsoe scrambles, tries to get first down. Mo Lewis delivers the devastating hit. In our world, Bledsoe rushed to the hospital. He comes in relatively unknown 6th-round compensatory pick from the draft. You get Tom Brady, who comes into the game. And the rest, as they say, is history. Brady leads the Patriots to an improbable 11-3 record as a starter the rest of that regular season. They win Super Bowl 36, kick off a dynasty that would see them win 6 Super Bowl titles over 2 decades. Bledsoe, despite recovering, even playing a crucial role in the AFC Championship game that year, never got his starting job back and was traded to Buffalo in 2002. Now, let's talk about the alternate reality here. Imagine a world where Drew Bledsoe doesn't get injured on that play. He finishes that game. He finishes the season. He continues as the Patriots starting quarterback. In this timeline that we're creating, Bledsoe at 29 years old in 2001 remains the veteran starter, as the Patriots intended him to be. They wanted him to be that starter. They paid him, right? He's a good quarterback, a Pro Bowler. He's not Tom Brady, though. He's not Tom Brady. The Patriots continue to be a competitive team, perhaps making the playoffs a few times. But that the dynasties, all that, the runs, simply doesn't materialize. And what about Tom Brady? What happens in this scenario with him sitting on the bench? The unknown 6th-round pick remains the backup, might get a few snaps in some blowouts or some weird games here and there, maybe even a spot starter, with a minor injury to Drew Bledsoe if maybe he can't go one week or another. But the door becoming a full-time starter, let alone the greatest of all time, never truly opens in New England. He's stuck behind a highly paid veteran in Drew Bledsoe. It's entirely plausible that Brady, seeing no clear path to a starting role, eventually gets traded, maybe to a team like the Detroit Lions, maybe the Cleveland Browns. I don't know, maybe somewhere else.
Just dumping on franchises.
Just dumping. Maybe he's a respective starter in one of these other teams. Maybe he's a Pro Bowler in one of these other teams. But the supporting cast and the coaching stability to build a dynasty aren't quite there, right? He's a good quarterback, but he's never the GOAT. Now that Patrick Mahomes nowadays would be the GOAT pretty quickly. You would know that there's some other options there, but Tom Brady never becomes the GOAT. This brings us to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is a ripple effect in this one. In our reality, Bill Belichick is hailed as the coaching genius, the mastermind behind 6 Super Bowl rings. But in an alternate timeline where Brady doesn't ever get the opportunity and doesn't get the chance, this legitimately changes the fundamental difference of what that looks like. He's still maybe a defensive mind, brilliant defensive mind, no doubt. His schemes are innovative. His team's very disciplined. But without the transcendent quarterback play, the Patriots struggle to win the big one. They might be a perennial playoff team, maybe a tough out. Maybe they never hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Like that all is thrown out into the ether of like what could have been. The Tuck Rule game, that never exists. Maybe the Raiders win that game, potentially a Super Bowl, altering the entire 2001 season's outcome. Imagine Bill Belichick, the stoic-driven coach, consistently battling the limitations of his quarterback situation, trying to find the guy that's going to get him over the top. Never happens. He knows what he could achieve. He sees the potential in Brady, but he's committed to Bledsoe because of the money they paid him, the franchise quarterback. They got all their eggs in one basket, the frustration, everything to try to find the guy, but just can't get over the hump. And beyond Foxborough, the ripple effects keep going. The AFC East, what does that look like? AFC East, in this reality, dominated by the Patriots for nearly 2 decades, becomes much more competitive. Teams like the Dolphins, the Jets, the Bills, who suffered for long playoff droughts, might find more success, perhaps even winning division titles and making deeper playoff runs, potentially, with the teams that they had. I mean, what does that do? The Bills might have more opportunities to have gone a little further, right? The entire landscape of the NFL shifted, right? Because the New England Patriots dominated for so long with that dynasty. The Super Bowl matchups we remember, the dynasties we witnessed are all different. The Oakland Raiders at the time were really, really good. The St. Louis Rams were the best team that season. Who knows what that would have looked like? One of those teams could have been the champions. The narrative of the early 2000s NFL is completely rewritten. So this isn't just about a coach who didn't get the rings. It's about the quiet, unfulfilled ambition of Tom Brady, the player who knew that he could never be, who would never get the chance if that wouldn't have happened. It's about Drew Bledsoe, the good quarterback who, through no fault of his own, stood in the way of dynasties. And it's a powerful reminder of how fragile sports greatness can be. One seemingly random event, a single hit on a football field, can alter the course of history for individuals, teams, and an entire league. Belichick remains a brilliant mind in this reality. He's a genius, acknowledged, but perhaps not celebrated with the same legendary status, especially not with his current girlfriend, and he doesn't have his job in North Carolina. But it just makes you appreciate the precise, almost miraculous alignment of circumstances that led the Patriots dynasty to what it is today, or what it was over the last few years. So what do you think would have unfolded if Drew Brees never got hurt? Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, and let's talk about this a little bit.
Nicely done, Chris. Nicely done.
Yes. Let's go. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about how much
Captain Urban, Bledsoe was the GOAT, and he does what Brady did.
And that's an argument, but I don't think it happens that way. Bledsoe and Brady are fundamentally very different quarterbacks. Bledsoe was a guy that pushed the ball down the field, took chances, impressive arm, all these things. Brady was... People hate when you say this out loud, but Brady, for a lot of his career, was a bit of a game manager and the best to ever do it. I say that in the sense of like, listen, the most important thing you can do is win a football game, right? Like nothing else matters. And he was the best at doing that. But he was a bit of a game manager. He would hit the short routes. He would, get the ball out of his hands, let players create. He was more innovative. Not that he couldn't push the ball downfield, not that he didn't, but Bledsoe was more predictable than what Brady was going to do. Brady was smarter, knew what he wanted to do with the football, and he'd get the ball in the right spot at the right time. based off their call, the defensive formation, all of those things. However, there is a window. I mean, you look at Brady's Super Bowl winning teams. If you averaged out their rank in offensive points per game versus their defensive points per game, which was better? The offense or the defense in their 6 Super Bowl wins?
Probably
over the course of the season, not just in the Super Bowl, like over the course of the season.
Would it be their defense?
It was their defense. He had, along with Bill Belichick and all that scheme and all of that, he had the perfect combination for him. He had the perfect mix because he, in his entire career in New England, the worst defense he ever had in the Super Bowl winning year, I believe the defense ranked 8th in points per game. He had a couple of years where it was like 1st and 2nd and all of that. It averaged out to like 4th. In the Super Bowl winning years, their defense averaged out to the 4th best defense on average over those 6 years. He had a ton of talent on the other side of the ball to help him. That's not to take away from what Tom Brady did. That's just a fact. But does Drew Bledsoe play into that, and knowing he has a great defense and don't make the mistakes and don't force the ball and make the right choices, even if it's not pretty? Because Tom Brady wasn't always pretty. He just made the right decisions at the right times.
Yeah.
But like even Tom Brady in their Super Bowl wins, you look at it like they won a Super Bowl 13-3. He won a Super Bowl scoring 13 points against the Rams. How many times has a team won a Super Bowl scoring 13 points? Probably never any. I haven't looked it up. That's got to be the lowest win total ever in a Super Bowl. Is 13.
I believe it is.
Obviously, you can go back to the Tuck game before the Super Bowl in their first Super Bowl run.
Yep.
If that call goes the other way, he doesn't win that Super Bowl. You obviously have the infamous pick at the end of the game where the Seahawks didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch and instead threw it and the interception. Like that takes his Super Bowls down to 4 right there. Now, he lost a couple close ones. He won a ton of close ones. It is what it is. But like, there's so many things that could have happened where Tom Brady's not viewed as the GOAT.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, all the important plays, all the important games, all the rivalries that have developed over that time frame. I mean, I think a couple people said Deflategate. Maybe that still happens. You still have the coaching staff there, but like, I don't know. You don't have the optics. I mean, if they're not a dynasty team, if they're not winning Super Bowls every year, is that as big of a Spygate, conspiracy, Deflategate as people would want it to be? Like, it wouldn't be as big if it wasn't against, a dynasty 100%, team. Right?
100%.
Just like
people hate winners.
The Chiefs are in the spotlight of all sorts of stuff now, but they wouldn't be if they weren't winning Super Bowls. So Deflategate might not be as big of a thing. Spygate, all the different gates that the Patriots are associated with. Bill Belichick's not a legendary quarterback or coach as people think. Like, I mean, even just like it's crazy to me how much time that the Patriots owned in the NFL for such a long period of time, all because of potentially one single moment.
Would they have moved off Bledsoe without that injury? It's really hard to move off a Pro Bowl quarterback that you just paid
$103 million,
as you talked about, the highest quarterback salary at that moment in the NFL.
They were bought in on Bledsoe. Yeah,
move off that guy. He made a Super Bowl. Bledsoe made a Super Bowl, lost to the Packers in that Super Bowl, but made one with the Patriots. You don't move off a guy like that. You don't.
No.
Without that injury and without the perfect coach that's kind of says like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to play who I think's going to give us the best chance to win, because I hate to bring up the Chiefs, but like the Chiefs back in the day with Marty Schottenheimer, their starting quarterback at the time got hurt and he wasn't great, but Or no, it was Elvis Grbac, and Rich Gannon was the backup at that time. Eventually became an MVP and made a Super Bowl, obviously, with the Raiders. He played phenomenally better, but Marty had a rule that you don't lose your job to injury, regardless of the performance, which is the most idiotic thing a coach could ever say out loud.
It's kind of crazy, right? But now you see that's the first thing that comes up in your mind when you say, oh, is this person going to lose their job to an injury? You automatically go back to the most infamous situation of the Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe situation. Like that's what you think of losing your job to a starter.
I mean, and if Tom gets moved to another team, he's not the GOAT. And that's not taking anything away from him, but any player that is referenced as the GOAT probably has a pretty good situation surrounding him, which Tom certainly had. And Pat had times as that. Tom and all his years in the Patriots, there were only 2 seasons where the defense wasn't a top 10 defense. 2 seasons. And Tom was there for 20 years? I don't know. 18 years? Something like that. 2 years where that defense wasn't top 10. And only once where they were the bottom half of the league, and it was 17. So it was basically right around average at 17. So he never had a defense worse than 17th in the league as far as points per game. But if he goes to a different, gets traded to, I don't even know if he gets traded. If the injury doesn't happen and he never plays, he was a 6th-round pick. Like one's going out there to try and trade for him either. Like,
well, 6th round,
potentially just never been a starter in the league. Like, there's an avenue where like Tom's a perennial backup, which sounds insane to say, but like there's a real thing, because when you're a 6th-round pick, there's nothing guaranteed and you have to prove it. And I don't know in like practice if Tom's making plays where you're like, we can't possibly sit this guy. Tom is not the like wow factor. Tom was never like the wow factor player as a quarterback of like, I've never seen someone do this throw or anything like that. But he was smart, intelligent, accurate, put the ball in the place it needed to be to get a first down and move the ball down the field. But oftentimes, especially when you're a 6th-round pick, GMs, coaches, all of them don't see that. They see talent and they're like, oh, our 1st-round pick just made a throw that Tom would never make, which a lot of quarterbacks can probably do. But they weren't as good as Tom in winning football games.
And I don't know how many 6th-round picks to that point had proven themselves to be as good as what Tom Brady ended up being. So the fact that any GM that was trading for a guy like Tom Brady, they don't even, he's not even a starter on those teams to start. Like there's other quarterbacks on other teams that are most likely going to be ahead of him, given where he was drafted and like the fact that you've never seen him perform at any level. So it's like, does he get a chance in another team? I don't think that that's the case necessarily, depending on if he's traded anywhere. So it's just Tom Brady. Now you see him and he's all over. He's like him and LeBron, and like you have these kind of like goats. I wouldn't call LeBron a goat yet, or probably
or ever.
But I will say like he's in those categories of guys who have like excelled in the league and been there for the longest time and had a ton of success, won a ton of championships, this and that. All that is erased in an alternate universe. Canada says the Tuck rule should have never happened. That probably wouldn't have happened. The Raiders figure they probably have a chance at winning a Super Bowl extra that they maybe never would have had, right? Because, I mean, you have that Tuck rule. They were a good team. I think they had like Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. I mean, Jerry Rice on the back end of his career there, but like, I mean, they still had, some decent players in Oakland. They were still Oakland Raiders at the time. So
let me ask you this real quick, Chris.
Haven't won a playoff game since. So
yes. Let me ask you this, Chris. If that's the case, would Peyton Manning be considered the GOAT? Or a GOAT.
You could, yeah. I mean, I think that there's a world where, I mean, Peyton Manning's
That's the thing.
a top 5 quarterback in different circles, right? I mean, he's top 3 in some circles. I mean, he elevates himself.
He's probably the GOAT of that era. I don't know if he's the GOAT ever because he only won 2 Super Bowls.
But
yeah,
that was
maybe he wins more. Maybe he wins more without Brady. Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, because that was the biggest rivalry. He couldn't get over the hump in some of those with the Patriots being as good as they were. So the Colts and Patriots rivalry, doesn't exist. Peyton has an easier route to win those Super Bowls. There's a great argument for that. A great argument that Peyton could be one of the greatest, if not the GOAT of all time. And you're looking at a whole different NFL. The Colts might have.
Chris, I'll ask you this just off the cuff. If you had to choose your quarterback for a 10-year stretch at their peak for those 10 years, would you choose Brady or Peyton?
Peyton.
I would too. And Brady's revered as the GOAT, and that's fair because of all of his team success and all of that. But I think Manning was the better quarterback at his peak.
I think you're right. I would say if you're talking peak, because I think Brady raised the floor. I think Peyton raised the ceiling a little bit more than Brady raised the ceiling when it came to what he did for his teams. I think Peyton was not only, I mean, he was an offensive coordinator I know Brady was a student of the game as well. He understood it, but I think I would go.
Flo says it depends if you care about winning. Put Peyton on those Patriots teams. Are they not winning all those Super Bowls? I think they are.
Peyton was a bit of a playoff choker.
I mean, but in the system and with the coach that they had, that's the thing that what that's kind of the argument of Tom Brady, right? Is the fact that without Tom Brady or without Belichick and that team and that system and what he had to be cultivated in, you're looking at a complete. I mean, the raw talent of Peyton Manning coming out was a lot different. There was a reason why Peyton Manning was taken so high, and you had a 6th round pick in Tom Brady in the draft. There was a raw talent disparity of what one quarterback could do over the other.
He needed Brock Osweiler to carry him to a Super Bowl.
No, he needed the defense to carry him.
He needed Von Miller.
But he had a Super Bowl before that with the Colts, to be fair. But yes.
Yeah.
That last Super Bowl, ironically, Peyton won a Super Bowl in his worst season ever, by far.
Yep.
That last year of his career in Denver. But he won a Super Bowl with a great defense. Oh, kind of like Tom Brady.
Yeah. That notable one Super Bowl. It says keep.
He won 2.
He won 2. And either way, I do think the peak, we talk about peaks of a lot of things, because if you're looking at a vacuum of the peak of one player's talent versus another without all the other aspects, let's say you strip away both teams and you have a quarterback performing just with their strict abilities, I would have to go Peyton. I think I'd have to go Peyton.
And let me throw this out there as well about Peyton Manning. So let's just say without Brady, Peyton wins one more Super Bowl with the Colts. Do they cut him after his neck injury?
The only reason the Colts cut him in general is because they had
Andrew Luck.
What was viewed as the best generational quarterback ever, with the number 1 pick after he got injured. If Andrew Luck wasn't in that draft, I don't think Peyton Manning would have been traded.
Agreed.
But it was Andrew Luck, and it was like a surefire, this dude's a Hall of Famer. This is the best prospect we've seen in forever.
Since Peyton.
The draft.
Since Elway, since Peyton, there was comparisons across the board with some of the greats, and even that he was blowing those away. So, yeah, I agree. I don't think Peyton gets let go. I think they give him another go in Indy, and they see what he can do. I'm taking the 8 years of Mahomes so far over the 10 best years of Manning or Brady.
And I'm pretty sure Mahomes has only been has he been a starter for 8 or 7 of those?
He got drafted when? 16, 17? He got drafted 17, so started at 18.
7.
He's been starting for 7 years. In the league for 8.
Yeah, and listen, we're not bringing up Mahomes. I'm trying not to bring up Mahomes. Right
yeah.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here we are.
He's actually hurting. He's actually hurting right now.
We can get into Mahomes and how great he is if you want to talk about it, keep close. But Brady was great, but he relied on a lot of other factors that allowed him the team success. And obviously the injury to Bledsoe, of course.
Yeah. So, again, what if these are the alternate universes, alternate realities that, what you will never know, but it's interesting to think about how life would be different. The sport would be different. The goats of the sport are altered. The coaches, everything. I mean, we barely even touched the teams that would have maybe had a longer stretch. I mean, we talked about the AFC East. I mean, who would be the team in the AFC East that would be kind of rising to the occasion?
The AFC East was kind of trash.
It was like,
yeah, I'd say the Patriots have still made the playoffs most of the time.
Weren't the Dolphins kind of decent? They were like,
I will argue that the Patriots playing in what was such a bad division for so long helped them to get the seed they got every year and to allow themselves home field and all these things to then make a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Dolphins made the playoffs, twice in the Brady era? The Jets made it a couple of times in the Sanchez era. The Bills
with Sanchez weirdly made like an AFC championship.
But fun fact, Mark Sanchez is one of 2 quarterbacks to be both Brady and Manning in the same playoff.
Because that 2001 NFL AFC East standings look like this: Patriots and Dolphins both 11-5, Jets 10-6, this was back when Colts.
Yeah, you had three divisions.
Three divisions,
East, Central, and West.
And then the Colts were in there at 6-10. The Bills were 3-13. So the Bills were kind of the dog walked team in that division. But I mean, Dolphins and Jets were double-digit win teams in 2001. Raiders, by the way, I mentioned them, 10-6. The Steelers were 13-3, and the Ravens were 10-6.
I was actually wondering if the Steelers, because they lost to Brady 3 times in the AFC Championship game.
I mean, maybe
how Pittsburgh's fortunes changed.
Maybe this Pittsburgh Steelers have more luck, because I mean, you had the rivalries there.
It's all for the best then.
Which you had 0-1 with Cordell Stewart.
Cordell Stewart was the quarterback for the Steelers in 2001. Yes.
I had
Jerome Bettis, the bus.
I had a Cordell Stewart jersey, Steelers jersey.
Well, yeah, because he was a CU guy, huh? So
he was a CU guy.
So, but then that was Cordell Stewart, Jerome Bettis was there. I think
Hines might have shown up by then.
Was Plaxico there at that time?
Plaxico was there. He was there.
Not no one.
I want to say he was drafted in 2000.
No shot. Actually, there's a shot. Now that I think about it.
Let's see.
He was in with the Giants in 2007. So no.
Yeah.
That could be a shot actually.
Let's see. Plaxico, Burris.
Wasn't that long ago.
2000 drafted.
2000. So 0-1, he was on that team, had 1,000-yard season.
Plaxico. Yeah. So I mean, the Steelers had a decent team. So
and then you go to 2004. Big Ben undefeated in the regular season, 14-0.
And again,
but that was also a defensive led team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez, geriatric Favre, started in that division. He had a good shot with his leg that 1 year. Brady better than Peyton, but Mahomes dances circles around Peyton.
I get it, Joe Quills. That took me a second. With Plaxico, had a good shot.
Oh, no, I understood it.
Yeah. So, man, you could go circles, man. Like we could go so deep into this. And anyways,
I'll say this.
It's fun to think about.
No, the Patriots are still the best team in the AFC East, even if Brady doesn't get hurt. Or if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, but are they winning Super Bowls? I mean, Bledsoe could have won one or two, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially
he made
with
one.
that
Again, he made one.
Because
they got blown out in that Super Bowl by the Packers, but he made a Super Bowl.
Because, I mean, we talk about Tom Brady being a game manager. I mean, would you say you could probably put the same category on Drew Bledsoe?
No, he wasn't. He was elite arm talent. He pushed the ball down the field. They were very different.
So the ceiling for Drew Bledsoe, you think, was it looked prettier. There were more exciting plays with Drew Bledsoe than certainly Tom Brady. But Tom Brady was more successful in like allowing your team to win. But do GMs and coaches always see that, or do they just see like this dude can
ball go far?
Runs?
Okay, I'll ask this question. The Patriots have 6 championships. How many do they have if Drew Bledsoe does not get hurt? How many championships do the New England Patriots have?
I mean, like Scotty said, 1 or 2.
I'd set the line at 1.5 and feel pretty comfortable about that.
I mean, the difference, the disparity between 6 and 1.5 you're setting that line at is wild. For one single injury to happen. Like that's a crazy aspect of this. Is like it's so drastic. We're never talking about the Patriots.
Like they could still win in 2003 against Jake Delhomme and the Carolina Panthers.
Jake Delhomme played really well in that Super Bowl, to be honest.
I mean, and in 2004,
it was like 34-28. It was or something like that.
And 2004 with Dominic McNabb, good quarterback, had a bad.
What up, JT?
Bad game in the Super Bowl.
How you doing, JT? Good to have you.
He threw up on the field. He was clearly not ready.
Let's put a poll in the chat, a quick poll. It doesn't have to be a long one because we're going to wrap up here in a minute. But how many Super Bowls do the Patriots win if Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt and Tom Brady never gets a chance, maybe doesn't get a chance to jump in and do what he did in 2001 and win Super Bowl 36?
This is sort of on topic and sort of off topic, but did you see, and I'm assuming this is real, but you never know on the internet, that Tom Brady didn't necessarily call out, but kind of called out Scotty Scheffler?
Did he?
I didn't see this.
Poll is up. Vote.
Yeah, vote. Before the Open Championship, the British Open, whatever you want to call it, that Scotty won. He had an interview, Chris. I don't know if you heard it, where he was just like, winning it and being the best is kind of unsatisfying. Like, the most satisfying thing in my life is being a husband and father, which I can see both sides of those being taken in ways where like inherently that's not a bad thing to say, but also there's so many people that would die to be in that position. Like, maybe just don't say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
However, Tom was like, supposedly came out and was like, I think being a good father, a lot of being a good father is devoting yourself to your craft and being the best you can be at that and showing your kids how much hard work can lead to success. And in a reference, he was literally in reference to what Scotty said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see both sides of those.
Yeah.
I can see both sides.
I can see. That's interesting. I mean, it's so crazy. We see Tom Brady now. He's in everything. He's like, it's
all over Fox.
I mean, he wouldn't be dating the supermodels. He wouldn't be doing all these things. That's crazy. Vote, guys. We have a 3-way tie in the chat. How many Super Bowls do the Patriots win if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt? So they have 6 championships. But if Tom Brady doesn't get a chance, how many championships do the Patriots win with Bill Belichick?
I've got another quick question.
Bill Belichick gets fired probably sooner rather than later, I would think. Or he gets let go. He doesn't have the same tenure.
I mean, he was already let go by the Browns pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, maybe
but now,
he bounces around.
When does Bledsoe leave the Patriots? Whether it's retirement or free agency.
How old was Bledsoe when he got that contract?
I think you said. I think he was like 29.
He was.
He was 29 in 2001.
Was he?
Yes.
So.
Yep.
According to this, his last season in the NFL was 06, at year 34 with the Cowboys.
Which is kind of shocking, that he fell off that hard a little bit because Drew Bledsoe was the number 1 overall pick when he was drafted, right? Like he was very, very, very talented. Was he the number 1 overall? No.
Well, he was definitely first round, that's for sure.
He was.
I think he was number 1. First overall pick in 93.
Yep.
I mean, the dude was anointed from the start, and you don't just you don't replace a number 1 overall pick that took you to a Super Bowl, that has been a Pro Bowler, that has put up stats.
That you just paid the most money to of any player in NFL history. Like that's.
Yeah, so let's just say he goes for another 4 years, and all of a sudden they're looking for a new quarterback in 2005. Who was their quarterback then? Well, in there, 2005, they could have gotten Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we don't know who would have drafted and what would have drafted. Everything would have changed.
Yeah, they could have gotten Aaron Rodgers in 2005, and then won a few Super Bowls with him.
Well, or does he choke? Because he only won 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Packers go through Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and only win 2 Super Bowls. That's maybe the most shocking.
Well, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, right? Because Green Bay is the most spoiled franchise, I think, in the NFL because they've had between Brett Favre, they've had Aaron Rodgers, and now they have Jordan Love. So they've had bridge quarterbacks going, and they've been good quarterbacks, right? But they haven't won anything. So it's like, would you rather have a team that has consistent quarterbacks but no titles? Or would you rather have the opposite where you can't find your quarterback, but maybe no, you want quarterback. You want to be competitive.
Yeah,
you want to be competitive.
What are you asking there, dude?
Yeah, I went down the road. I was trying to make an argument out of it, and I couldn't in my head rightfully make that argument.
Well, Chris, and number 12, as a Broncos fan, could know would you trade? So the Broncos won in 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
Yep. And then they were awful for a lot of years after that.
Yep.
Would you trade that Super Bowl for being really good for all those years, but not winning the Super Bowl? I don't think you would.
No.
The Super Bowl is the
Super Bowls are hard to get.
Yeah, that's what keeps you warm at night when you keep losing all those games.
Stop it.
They're pretty easy to get.
Stop. That's not what you were saying
no, I
10 years ago. But you're right. I think there is something to because you don't want to be Green Bay where you're just it's
fun as a fan because you're always in the mix, so you're always engaged. Whereas those down years, sometimes you're midway through the season, you're just I don't even care anymore. I hate watching this team. They make me so mad because they suck. So there's something to that as a fan. But winning a Super Bowl is the Mecca. That's all you want. That's all you need. It's that carry. The question is how many years would you trade a Super Bowl for being bad? After that, if you are bad for 8 years after that, kind of like the Broncos were, 8 or 9 years, whatever they were, is that worth it?
Is 15 years worth it to you?
That's a lot of years.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
As a fan, actually, probably not. Probably not. I'd rather my team be good for a while. Although it sucks when they break your heart in the playoffs. Those days are the worst.
For you, what's the cutoff?
I don't know if I have a specific number in mind, but like it's less than 15 for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably
Is it around like 8 to 10?
I was gonna go like 7.
JT in the chat, the Raiders might have been a dynasty without the Tuck call.
Yeah, the Tuck call was garbage. And
the Raiders still had to go up against what? The Rams in that Super Bowl, right?
And the Patriots came into that Super Bowl
massive underdogs. Yes.
Like if the NFL is a series, the Patriots certainly don't win the best of whatever that series is against the Rams. But on that day, they won.
Yeah.
They did what they had to do.
So
the
Rams were definitely the best team in the NFL that year. Not close.
Yeah. And the Raiders, I think the Raiders would have put up a decent fight too, but the Raiders were that was kind of when they were in there. They had some decent.
Yeah, they had John Gruden for the time, Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gruden got traded. Oh, that's a good one. Does Gruden get traded after that year? Because it was 2000 after the 0-1 season that he got dealt to Tampa Bay. If Tuck rule never happens, Raiders go to the Super Bowl, win or lose, does Gruden get traded to the Buccaneers?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No.
And does he ever
that changes a lot
with the Raiders? I don't know. He obviously won one with Tampa, but like, does he win one with the Raiders?
Against the Raiders and Bill Callahan.
Yeah. 1,000,000-0 in that game.
With 5 pick sixes.
1,000,000-0. Yeah, I think that maybe we do a spin-off of some of these at some point. But guys, we're what? We're at the bottom of the hour here. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna try to get out of here in a little bit. But did you guys like the What If series live or not? Because Scotty and I are like, we could do this offline and do like a little podcast and like post it and everything else. But the conversations afterwards, do you like that? Do you not? Do you like going through and me like telling the story to you guys and then we can chat about it after? What do you guys like? Would you want to do another What If? Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot around Michael Jordan. There's like if Jordan doesn't.
I'm thinking of another quarterback that got injured, and what if he doesn't get injured? What happens with that? And it's Drew Brees with the Chargers.
Ooh.
I mean,
did they already draft Phillip Rivers by then?
They drafted, but only because Drew Brees was injured, and they didn't know, and it was a shoulder injury, and they didn't know how he would rebound.
Well, I guess technically they drafted Eli and then traded him away.
They knew they were trading him away. They knew Eli was not going to play for them, which it's a whole other thing. But
yeah, I mean, there's NBA What Ifs that Len Bias is one that altered the course of what could have been. Altering the Chicago Bulls dynasties and the Boston Celtics and what that team could have looked like and how that. I mean, there's the Yao Ming. I mean, I'm thinking of some NBA ones, but like if Yao Ming ends up being as good as everyone anticipates him to be, there's so many different.
Here's one in the hockey that you probably don't want to talk about.
Wayne Gretzky.
I was going to say, what if the Montreal Canadiens don't piss off their star goaltender in 1993?
Yeah, I mean, there's that. Well, I think the Wayne
traded till 96, but
96, yeah. Whenever it was.
I think that one. I think what if Wayne Gretzky doesn't get traded? What does that look like? Because
Yeah, and JT makes a good point. If Trent Green tore an ACL in the preseason, he was the starting quarterback for the Rams, and then Kurt Warner comes in. Kurt Warner, the grocery guy, comes in and just sets the world afire.
Fun story about Kurt.
And then they trade Trent Green. Yeah,
that's a fun story about Kurt Warner. Like before he was known, he had to try with I think the Packers. That he had to miss because of a spider bite.
probably still go if you have a spider bite.
What if the Maple Leafs were actually good? They're good. They're just more like the Dallas Cowboys of hockey.
What if Canada was allowed to win a Stanley Cup?
Stanley Cup.
I think it's against the rules at this point, but I'm not sure.
Let's go to baseball. One that affects now. What if Shohei gets indicted in that gambling thing with his interpreter?
Dodgers still win.
Dodgers
still win with us.
They sign the next best guy out of Japan, and they'll find a way.
Although they did get his best buddy from Japan because he was there.
Roshi Sasaki?
Yeah.
Or Yoshinobu Yamamoto?
Oh, I was thinking of Yamamoto.
Okay.
But anyways, guys, yeah, if you like this, what if the Maple Leafs were actually good? You can dive into all of these. So many what ifs, but it looks like we only had 2 voters who were like, yeah, we would like another what if.
I was looking at the other poll.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had an interesting and fun night with us tonight.